History books have been deceiving us. We are taught that electricity was discovered in the 18th century, starting with Benjamin Franklin's kite and evolving into Alessandro Volta's battery. We are told that technology is a linear path, marching unwavering from the caveman to the iPhone. But what if that line is broken? What if people who lived thousands of years before us knew how to illuminate the darkness of night? Today, we will touch upon an object that modern science struggles to explain, archaeologists classify as an out-of-place artifact, OP-art, and historians choose to ignore. An object unearthed from the dusty soils of Baghdad, reaching into the depths of Egyptian pyramids, and proving that what we thought was the power of gods might actually be a simple law of physics. This is the story of the Baghdad Battery. And by the end of this story, you will forget everything you know about the past. The year is 1938. The world is trembling with the footsteps of the Second World War. But Wilhelm Koenig, the German archaeologist and director of the National Museum of Iraq, had his mind not on the war, but on the crates in the museum's basement classified as rubbish. Koenig opened a dusty box thought to belong to the Parthian Empire, around 250 BC. What emerged was not a golden statue or a precious jewel. It was a plain, ugly clay pot, about 14 centimeters tall, made of bright yellow clay. But what terrified Koenig was not the outside of the pot, but the inside. The mouth of the jar was sealed with bitumen, asphalt, a 6,000-year-old engineering marvel. When Koenig broke the seal, he found a copper cylinder inside. Suspended within that copper cylinder was a rusted iron rod. Koenig was a man of science. He immediately understood that what he saw was not a religious ritual object. Copper, iron, and an insulated container. When these parts come together, they have only one meaning in the universe, a galvanic cell. In other words, a battery. Koenig wrote that famous sentence in his report, "This object cannot be made without modern knowledge of chemistry and electricity." Yet, this object belongs to 2,000 years before electricity was invented. So, is this just a coincidence? Perhaps that iron rod was just there to store a papyrus scroll. Science works not by assumption, but by experiment. After World War II, American scientists produced replicas, exact copies, of these ancient pots. The design was simple but brilliant. 1. Clay pot, insulated body. 2. Copper cylinder, positive pole. 3. Iron rod, negative pole. 4. Asphalt stopper, sealing. The only thing missing was the electrolyte liquid. There was no sulfuric acid in ancient Mesopotamia. But they had something much simpler, grape vinegar, lemon juice, or fermented wine. Researchers poured grape vinegar into the replica pot. And the moment they connected the voltmeter, the value that silenced the room appeared on the screen, 1.1 volts. A single pot produced the same power as a modern battery in your TV remote today. If you connect 10 of these pots in series, you get 12 volts. That is the power of a car battery. 2,000 years ago, in the desert, in a world without electricity, the technology to build a car battery existed. The question is no longer, is it real? The question is now, why? What were the people of Mesopotamia doing with this electricity? They certainly weren't charging iPhones. Historians and engineers focus on three main theories. Theory 1, the alchemist's secret, electroplating. When you look at Parthian-era jewelry in museums, you see incredibly thin and smooth gold plating. It is impossible to achieve such smooth surfaces with the traditional hammering method. However, if you place a cheap copper necklace into a jar with a cyanide gold solution and connect these batteries, you can make it look like pure gold in seconds. Perhaps the sorcerers of antiquity were actually just clever jewelers using chemistry and electricity. Theory 2, the touch of God, medicine and religion. We know that in ancient Rome and Greece, electric eels were used to treat patients in pain. These batteries could have been used in temples to simulate the power of God. Imagine, you are in a dark temple, you touch a metal statue, and the statue shocks you. In that moment, you believe that what stands before you is not a statue, but a living God. Could priests have used this secret technology to rule the people? Theory 3, the most terrifying possibility, the Ark of the Covenant in Egypt. Was this technology limited only to Baghdad? On the walls of the Dendra temple in Egypt, there are reliefs resembling giant light bulbs. And the Ark of the Covenant described in Holy Scriptures. According to descriptions, the Ark was a box plated with gold inside and out, conductive, with acacia wood in the middle, insulative. This is the design of a massive capacitor. Ancient texts write that those who touched the Ark were killed by God's fire. Was the Ark of the Covenant actually a gigantic ancient weapon charged by these batteries? The Baghdad Battery is not a simple pot trying to be forgotten in a museum basement. It is a slap in the face of human arrogance. We think of the past as primitive and ourselves as the peak. But perhaps we are merely the rememberers. Perhaps civilization is not a linear ladder, but a cycle of rise and collapse. When the Library of Alexandria burned, when Baghdad was looted, the knowledge of the masters who made these batteries was erased. And we had to wait another 2,000 years to discover electricity. Which of the technologies we use today do you think will be found in an excavation 1,000 years from now and look like impossible magic to the people of the future? Reality is stranger than fiction. This is Wonder Mag. See you in the untold stories of the universe.